Kia ora, this is Nancy from Natterings with Nancy in NZ. This is my third floss tube, and I'm sticking true to form and being very irregular with my updates. Today it's the 9th of April 2024, so the last update I did was at the end of February. So yeah, I've just spent this morning going through kind of where I'm at with things. I have thought to myself that I need to set up a folder with all my photos so it's easy to pull and collate it into the video so that you can see the progress on things. So if I'm successful in that, then you will hopefully throughout this video see little images pop up of where I'm at or where I've progressed from and things. Otherwise today it's just all about stats, and I'll try and make it better for the next floss tube. So thank you for everyone who has commented on my last videos. I know one of the comments that came through a bit was that people were hoping to see the completed gorilla project. So today I have ensured to find it so I'm not digging around in the bags behind me. And we'll show that to you very soon. It is not finished, however that's still its goal, is to get framed and sent off to my friend's son. So yeah, we'll just go through some of the updates of what my stitching's been like. I've bought a few things, so I thought I'd show you that, and then maybe do a tiny little life update at the end. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. So we'll start with the gorilla. I found it. It was in the bag. We worked it out. It was in the bag with chocolate. So here is the gorilla completed. I mentioned last time that I tried to do a back stitch on it and I didn't like how it looked. So I have opted to leave it without back stitch. You can still see enough definition, I think, especially from far away. The closer up, the less detail, because there's just so many colours and you get a little bit overwhelmed. But the further away you can really see the geometric patterns, you can see the gorilla's eyes. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this framed. I just have not prioritized it yet, but I will get there. So that is the first project which was completed from February. The second one I'm going to talk about is Saga. So Saga is Long Dog Sampler, and it was my friend Judy from an Aussie and a Kiwi world who was stitching on this and actually inspired me to try cross stitch last year at a retreat that we were at called Stitch Tui. So I have been working on it since the end of last year once I got all my supplies, and it is quite addictive. So I think something that I really enjoy about it is because it's a monochrome piece. It's very easy to just carry on stitching because you're using the one thread throughout. So yeah, so I find that I can progress quite quickly on it. I'm stitching on an 18 count Ada, and I'm using a Silks For You thread. It is the PR147, so it's a variegated turquoise. So it's quite a large piece, and since last time I have found my top left hand corner, which you can see in frame right now. So I have found the top left hand corner. I have worked on a section in here with a zebra, so I finished the zebra, must have been, was it just last week? I think it was just last week, or this week, I can't remember. I have just recently finished the zebra, and what I'm hoping to do is just work my way up to the top and along to make sure that I have counted correctly on that left hand side, and because we've just established earlier on that I'm not organised with before photos, but I am sure I was somewhere within these panels as a before. So yeah, I am really enjoying this piece. I'm loving the detail. I love how little pieces are forming just based on where you do or don't stitch, and it gives you these beautiful little patterns. So yeah, I am really loving this. So in terms of stats for Saga, I was at 9.10% and I had done 9,536 stitches last time. Today we're at 15.89%, which is well ahead of target. Like, I'm where I should be at the end of this month, and we're still very early on in this month, and I have done 16,650 stitches on it in total. So that's some pretty good progress. This month I've done over 7,000 stitches on it, and 6.79%. So yeah, just a little over a month, and that's how much I've done on it. It is really lovely. It makes me want to do more of them, and it really, yeah, it's tricky to stay focused and do other life things when it would be nice just to sit and stitch. I think I want to get a smaller piece that is similar, something that's easier to carry to work, because at the moment I lug this to and from with me wherever I go, but probably having something smaller would be much easier. So I'm going to have a look through the other long dog samplers and see if I can find anything, and go from there. The next one that I have been working on is the Heaven and Earth Designs Stitch Along for 2024. So the pattern I chose is Rainbow Dragons by, I believe it was Sheena Pike, who's now retired. And so I have made progress on this one. I am still working on the first page. As you can maybe see in there, there's quite a bit of confetti. It is a labour of love, let's say. So the colours are beautiful, the pattern is stunning. Finding the time and having good eyesight to do it has been a mission. So I find this is a good one that I like to work on in the weekends when I can stitch during the daytime, or I have just changed to my hours so that I just work Monday to Thursday full time and get Fridays off. So this is probably going to be a bit of a Friday project, weekend project, where I can stitch in the daytime. My eyes seem to work much better working on confetti with daylight hours rather than just my overhead lamp. But yeah, I'm really loving it. We've had the second installation has been released, but I'm yet to work out exporting the pattern from Pattern Keeper and uploading it with the new one. And I've just recently watched Crafty Emily's video, reminding all of her subscribers to back up their patterns. So it is a good reminder. I just still have not got around to it. I think it's the needing to learn how to use Google Drive or something so I can do that. But it's in there, it's in my mind, and I am going to get to it. I really love this pattern, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of it come to be. So where I'm at with stats, I'm currently at, this is just off the first installation versus the amalgamated updated pages that we've had, is that I'm at 19.98%, which is 4,582 stitches of 22,932. From last Flosstube to now, I have done 11.7% and 2,683 stitches. I've been trying to work on it, maybe not most days, but at least kind of 4 or 5 days of the week, even if it's just for a little bit, like 100 stitches here and there. Because there is so much confetti, it does seem to take quite a bit longer. And I'm still trying to work out the best method of stitching. Like, I'm very cross-country stitcher. If you want to look at my hoop guts at the back, it's kind of all over the show, and I've got threads going everywhere, and we'll just have to wait and see how it comes along. I'm sure there's rules on it and that you aren't meant to do that and it's meant to look certain ways, but actually I'm okay with it. I like hoop guts and all the crisscrossy look and mess on the back when something on the front can look so beautiful and really well completed. So yeah, that's my Rainbow Dragon, and I will probably do some stitching on that. Today is a Tuesday, so usually I would be at work, but I have my oldest girl home sick today, which is why I'm taking the opportunity to record a Flosstube, and I will hopefully get into some stitching soon. The next one I would like to show is the Wesex Stitch, which I have now completed on the ANZ Mystery Sampler. I don't think I had completed it last time, and it just had a tiny bit left to finish up. So I have now finished the Wesex Stitch, which is down the bottom panel. So I think last time all I had to do was put in the blacks, and I put some more rayon in, which is a little bit of a shiny sparkly. I don't know if it's going to pick it up. But yeah, so the Wesex Stitch is finished, so now I've completed 3 of them. The next one I was meant to be starting was the Tuku Tuku panel, which is up in the top left hand corner. As you can see, it is not started, so that is still on the agenda. I don't think I'll do it this month, so I'm not even going to make a goal around it. If I do, that's awesome and I'll show progress, but otherwise, if not, I'll just leave it for later on in the year. This sampler is good for me because it's a lot of stitches or style of stitching that I've never done before, so it's definitely serving its purpose. Yeah, it won't be finished before I go to Dunedin for the National Embroidery Conference, which is happening in July, but I'm okay with that. I am happy making progress on other things, which is what I'm doing right now. The final project that I've been working on this month, or 6 weeks or so, has been a bit of a secret project, so I'm not going to show you, because it is, if I finish it in time, if I like how it looks, then I'm going to enter it into the exhibition that's happening at the National Conference. But what I thought I would do instead is I would just show you some of the colours. So here is my bobbin keeper, and these are some of the colours that will be going into it. So these are all colours I really love. I love that there are nice warm tones in there, as well as like some real vibrant greens. So I will wait and see how it turns out. I have stats on it, so it is it's not too big of a project. It's 20,000 stitches, and I've done 809, so I'm sitting at about 4%. I think it will actually work out to being higher because the type of fabric I'm stitching on is really nice, and I want that to be shown in the background, so it's not actually going to be a full coverage piece, and because it's a picked pat that I've done, it's showing it as full coverage, and I've just not worked out which symbol of stitches to block out, but I'll get to that. It's very similar to how I did the gorilla, so I think in the end with the gorilla it was about half the amount of stitches of what Pattern Keeper told me, just based on the program that I used. So I have done only 3% since last time, and I was thinking on it as to why I hadn't, and I think it's because with the online games that I was playing and stuff, because it is going to be shown at an exhibition, I can't actually show it on social media and the likes, so then I wasn't counting the stitches, so I didn't feel like I should be stitching on it, because then it wasn't contributing to games, which seems silly because the whole purpose of joining the Facebook groups and the games is to stitch more. So I've talked to some of the administrators, and they're happy for me to take before and after photos of my stitch count on Pattern Keeper, so that way I can still use my progress on it in the games that I'm being a part of, and I can hopefully get it finished. So the goal is to do as much as possible on it by the end of this month, because by the end of this month I have to decide if I'm going to submit it or not and submit my application, and then I think I've got about halfway through May to get it finished and mounted and sent away, which is fast approaching because I feel like we're almost coming up to halfway through April, so I've kind of got a month. So maybe that's actually what I'll work on today instead of the rainbow dragon. The other projects that I've shown in the past, I have not done any stitching on, and when I get around to stitching on them, I will give you guys a little glimpse into them. Otherwise I might just sit there until I've finished one of these ones that I'm really enjoying focusing my attention on. I thought what I would do now is go through some of the things that I've purchased. So since last time, I have purchased a pattern. This time I am even more organised, and I have printed it off. So I've purchased the pattern for my kids. So my big kids are both 8. One of them's already doing cross stitch, the other one wants to learn how to do cross stitch, and my daughter wanted to stitch a rainbow heart, I think is what she said. And so then I found this gorgeous little LGBT gnome pattern. So this meets the brief. It's a rainbow heart, and I think it'll be quite straightforward for her to learn. It's got lots of different cute little ones, so I've just printed them and laminated the little pieces. I don't know if these are true for size, but I feel like they might be, which is very achievable for our kids. I've just got 4 of them so far printed out. And yeah, so they're cute little gnomes all dressed up in rainbows, and I think the kids will have fun stitching them. If they don't, I know I will. So I just need to kit it up for them and then we'll go. And then I thought, because some of them have like writing on them, I think, I forget how many pictures there are. There might be like, I don't know, 12. Yeah, I think there's 12 different gnomes in this pattern that I got. It's from Flosstube.com, I believe. But I probably bought it off Etsy. And some of them are wearing like beanies, and so we're gonna block out and write the kids' names on it so that they can personalize their little rainbow gnome and then have it hanging in their room or whatever they want to do at the end of it. So the plan for that is to kit them up for the kids. I want to get them all the floss they need and the Ada and probably little Q-snaps or something so that then they can stitch on it. So yeah, that I think is the only thing I've purchased in terms of patterns since last time. I'm trying very hard to stop purchasing patterns because I don't have the time to stitch on all of them, and I need to finish the things. The other things I have purchased since last time is I went to the Rotorua Embroidery Guild's exhibition just this weekend gone with some friends, and they had a D-stash table. So on that D-stash table there was Ada, so I have bought a few different types. So I've got some off-whites in 18 and 14 count. I have got a navy 14 count Ada, and I thought it would look real nice if I did maybe a long dog sampler on that with a light thread, either an ecru or a blanc, or maybe a like baby blue or something on top of that, and see how I go. Another just piece of white Ada, which I will hopefully be able to kit up the kids' kits with. This is one of the Adas with, kind of looks like it's 18 count, and it's got the sparkles in it. So yeah, I don't know what that is that they put through it. It's kind of like a rayon, I guess, that they just put in with their weave. More 18 count, slightly off white, and then some black 14 count Ada, which I'm sure I can find something to stitch on that, because I have bought some really nice bright patterns that I think would stitch really nice on black. So that's some of the stash that I have now picked up. I also found this gorgeous little book. So I've been looking for this embroidery book for a while, and have been contemplating buying it through Amazon, and just it often sits in my cart and then I don't get it, and then I found it for $5 at on the D-stash table. So it's from Thread Folk or Libby Moore. Her patterns are the ones that got me into stitching. So after I had my daughter, she must have been about a year and a half old, I had seen a lot of her work and her developing patterns, and she put together kits, and so I purchased one of those, and that was my first embroidery project. And I've actually ended up stitching probably 5 or 6 of her embroidery patterns. So in this book it's just got a whole heap of beautiful patterns, kind of like her stitch guides, the steps you need to take in terms of tracing it onto your fabric, all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's real cute, and so you can either do it in her colour schemes that she stitched it in, or you just create whatever you want to create with it. So yeah, cute little patterns. And yeah, I'm excited to maybe do some of this probably with my daughter. She seems to enjoy the free surface stitchery type projects more. than my steps are. So yeah, we'll give that a go. And it's nice because I don't actually have any of the patterns that are in this book. The patterns that I've purchased from her website or Etsy in the past are all different, which is really neat. So I'm excited about that book. Just need more time in the day. The only other things I've picked up is very practical things. Some bobbin, what are they called? Just bobbins, cardboard bobbins, so that I can bobbinate some of my floss. And the other thing I've picked up are these little like napkins from the op shop. So it's just a nice linen. It doesn't have anything on it. Sometimes you find them with like little print and patterns on it to stitch, but these ones don't have anything on it. And what are there? There's 3 of them, and that was $3 from the hospice shop. So these will go really nicely in a little hoop that we'll be able to draw some of those patterns on that I got in that book, and then we can do some surface stitchery on that and either frame it or, I don't know, leave it. It's got nice little edging on it. Yeah, so those are my purchases, just to slowly build my stash, and yeah, that is kind of all it is. And this is now me going into a bit of a life update for anybody that is interested. I have been a little bit more active on my Instagram account, so thank you for anyone that's come along and followed me over there. Trying to post little pictures and blurby things, get to know the inside workings of my head a little bit more, and what drives me with stitching. Put a few goals up there as well, just as I post pictures. I'm not so great at stories, but maybe I'll try and do stories every once in a while as well. What else is going on? So I mentioned my big girl's home from school today. It's coming up the end of the school term, and I think just it's the fatigue of school term setting in. A little bit of change of season, a little bit of daylight savings, which has all happened at the same time. So she's just chilling at home with me. Our baby girl, she is 2. She is slowly starting to sleep better. We're trialing these aromatherapy patches on her, which seem to be giving her better sleep. We have also weaned in the last few weeks. I think it's been 3 weeks since she's been breastfed, so it does feel quite different. The way to soothe her back to sleep is very different. But yeah, we are maybe seeing some light at the end of the tunnel with our co-sleeping, not so much sleeping child. And yeah, it'll be all good. We will get there. Stuff that's happening around our house. I am just hiding the mess that's behind me. I am hoping to get a little either an ottoman that has storage in it so that I can store my projects inside the ottoman in the lounge so that they're easily accessible, or like one of the caddies that have wheels so I can move it away, and because right behind me is our wood box, so we can fill the wood in for the fire from outside the house and then load it into the fireplace. That is going to have to be accessible soon because it's definitely getting colder, and I know I'm much more of a like the heat and sit in front of the warmth sort of a person, so I think we will start using it probably in the next month. So I need to come up with a solution to move all my crafty supplies which are just piled in by the wood box. So that is one of my life goals at the moment, is try and work that out, either an ottoman or a craft caddy. We are doing a bathroom renovation in our house. This has been something we have discussed probably for the last 3 years, if not longer. Yeah, probably longer. And it should be starting next week, which is really exciting. So we've had most of the fixtures arrive. The builders all quoted stuff up and they're sorting all the supplies they need. Hopefully the Sparky will get everything he needs in order to do his part. But it turns out it's a lot to coordinate a builder and a plumber and a Sparky. And I think mostly my friend who is the builder will be doing it all, but so far I've had to do a little bit of it, and it's just a lot of a juggle, and maybe not my forte. But we will have a new bathroom in the next few weeks, which will be really nice. We have been away a little bit, so as a family we all went up to Whangamata, which is on the Coromandel Peninsula, or just the start of it, for Beach Hop, which is a weekend of classic cars. which is really nice. So my partner has a 1960s Ford Galaxy. He just got it at the end of last year and he really enjoys tinkering on it and driving around and whatnot. So we went on a family holiday in it, loaded up the kids in the back and had a suitcase each because it was just for a weekend, and went up there. The weather was pretty good for the first day and then a bit rubbish for days 2 and 3. The youngest gets quite car sick, but she was actually really good. So whether we just planned the trip right and didn't feed her at the right times and all that sort of stuff, it meant that we only had one lot of car sick on the way home and nothing on the way there, which was really great. The kids all got to play with their cousins because we've got whānau who live up there, and had other whānau turn up too, which was really cool. And yeah, we hung out in the parade and then it rained, and then, you know, the 2-year-old just loves jumping in muddy puddles, so off we did that for a while before we headed home. Warmed up with showers and played games, or I sat around and stitched, really, is what happened. We have, I think the only other thing that's exciting and coming up is that my partner and I are getting to go away for a weekend by ourselves this weekend coming. So we've had, since our youngest was born, we've had 2 nights away, like 2 singular nights away together. And this will be the first time that we're going for a whole weekend. So my sister is going to look after the youngest, the older 2 are with the other parents, and we are going to go visit friends. And so we are really looking forward to that. We might get decent sleep, which will be nice. We'll be able to just go on our own terms and do things when we want to do them. Yeah, it was a 4:30 wake up this morning, so I'm already feeling like I'm fading, and I don't even know if it's, you know, what's the time? It's like 10:30. So I feel like I've done a whole day's innings already, and we're nowhere near there yet. I can see that I am being summoned by my big girl from the kitchen, so she clearly wants lollies or juice or something because she's sick. And I will go and sort her out. I will edit this up and post it online. Feel free to drop any comments, like and subscribe, all of that sort of stuff. I love to see the feedback from people. Yeah, if you've got any recommendations of other Flosstubers who I should follow, maybe people that do slightly smaller projects, that I can see and, yeah, decide whether I should be doing some of those on my newfound D-stash scores of Ada. But yeah, thanks for coming along, and I'll see you when I see you next. Ka kite.